Welcome to Daily Gossip. You'll get daily Hollywood updates right here. Remember to subscribe for the latest videos. Today, we unravel the emotional, controversial, and inspiring journey of a man who dared to challenge the limits of reinvention, Colton Ford. Once a star in the adult film industry, Colton set out on a bold mission to leave that world behind and chase mainstream music stardom. His struggle, his fame, and his raw truth were captured in the unforgettable 2005 documentary, Naked Fame. What followed was a roller coaster of identity, rejection, success, and redemption. This is Colton Ford's story. Colton Ford, born Glenn Soukesian, wasn't your typical celebrity. Before his name echoed in nightclubs and film studios, he was a kid with a dream. A love for music, rhythm, and the spotlight. But like many in search of validation, he took a detour that would define him in both limiting and liberating ways. The adult film industry, under the spotlight of gay adult entertainment, Colton became an icon. His name, face, and physique were etched into the fantasies of countless fans, making him a recognizable figure around the world. But behind the glamour of fame, there was a hunger for more, a desire to be seen, not just watched. Ford had always wanted to sing. Long before he became an adult film star, he was a performer, crafting beats, writing lyrics, and dreaming of the stage. The world, however, often punishes those who try to change lanes, especially when the lane they're leaving is considered taboo. This was the world Colton Ford stepped into when he left the adult film industry behind to chase his passion, pop music. In 2005, a documentary titled Naked Fame chronicled this transition. It wasn't a vanity project. It was a soul-bearing look into how society, media, and even the LGBTQ+ community deal with past labels. Ford wasn't just facing critics. He was confronting a culture that still couldn't decide whether to embrace or reject its own. Naked Fame isn't your typical documentary. It doesn't gloss over the struggle or sugarcoat the pain. It reveals the cracks in the glossy exterior of fame and dives deep into the emotional cost of transformation. Colton Ford is raw in every scene, not just physically, but emotionally. We see him trying to book gigs, getting rejected by labels, and confronting a world that insists on defining him by his past, not his passion. What makes Naked Fame so powerful is its honesty. The film doesn't ask for pity, it demands empathy. You watch Colton as he navigates an unforgiving music industry that both fetishizes and shuns him. He is often seen walking a tightrope between acceptance and judgment, surrounded by people who either want a piece of his notoriety or want nothing to do with him because of it. Yet, Colton doesn't flinch. He doesn't retreat. He sings with conviction, performs with fire, and speaks with a clarity that few can muster under such scrutiny. There's a scene in Naked Fame where he breaks down while talking about what it feels like to be constantly dismissed as just a porn star. It's not just heartbreaking, it's enlightening. It forces the audience to ask, why are we so unwilling to let people grow? Colton's music wasn't manufactured. His songs were reflections of his pain, resilience, and identity. He poured his soul into every lyric and beat. Tracks like Everything and Signed, Sealed, Delivered were not just songs. They were declarations of presence. They screamed, I am here. I am more than what you think I am. Though mainstream success proved elusive, Colton found a home in the LGBTQ+ music scene, performing at pride festivals, clubs, and independent venues. He became a voice for those who felt trapped by their past or defined by labels they never asked for. His audience wasn't always massive, but it was loyal. They saw themselves in him, flawed, resilient, and still reaching. Behind the scenes, the toll was heavy. The pressure to reinvent himself, to constantly prove he was more than his past, wore him down. Yet, even through personal and professional battles, Ford remained honest about his journey. He didn't hide the difficulties. He talked about them in interviews, wrote about them in blogs, and sang about them in his music. In a world that often values reinvention only when it fits a particular narrative, Colton's story is a powerful reminder that transformation is messy, painful, and worth it. Colton Ford's story isn't just about one man's attempt to break free from his past. It's a mirror reflecting our society's obsession with labels and its discomfort with sexual expression, especially when it intersects with fame. Ford challenged every stereotype, not just by leaving porn, but by doing so without shame. He didn't renounce his past. He honored it, acknowledged it, and moved forward. His journey exposed the hypocrisy in how we treat sex workers, especially in entertainment. A rock star can sing about sex. A movie star can have scandalous tapes, and they are forgiven, even celebrated. But someone like Colton, he was forced to wear his past like a scarlet letter, even while he sang from his heart. Yet, within the LGBTQ+ community, his story also revealed internal conflicts. Why are we sometimes the quickest to judge our own? Ford's struggle for acceptance within a community that should have been his strongest support system speaks volumes about internalized stigma and the urgent need for compassion and inclusion. Though Colton Ford passed away in 2024, his legacy lives on, not just through his music or films, but through his audacity to try. His life wasn't perfect, but it was powerful. He showed the world that you don't need permission to change your story. You just need courage. He inspired countless people to step beyond their labels, to redefine themselves in their own terms. His songs, filled with longing and defiance, still play at Pride events. His interviews are shared in forums about self-love and identity. His documentary Naked Fame is now viewed not just as a biography, but as a cultural artifact of resilience and redefinition. The loss of Colton Ford hit his fans hard. Social media was flooded with tributes, memories, and gratitude. People from all over the world, many of whom never met him, shared stories of how he helped them feel seen. He made me believe I could be more, one fan wrote. Another said, he didn't hide who he was. That gave me the strength to be myself. Colton Ford may have started his journey in a controversial world, but he never let that be the end of his story. He turned vulnerability into power, rejection into rhythm, and shame into song. That's not just fame, that's legacy. Thank you for watching this emotional journey into the life and legacy of Colton Ford. His story is one of transformation, struggle, and undeniable strength. If his courage touched you or inspired you in any way, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to Daily Gossip for more stories that dive deeper than headlines. We bring you the raw, the real, and the unforgettable. Rest in power, Colton. You'll never be forgotten.